Yo, 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 welcome in, Raider Nation, family. They follow from Burners Crew, Silver and Black Pride, worldwide fans, Las Vegas fans, fans from the town, LA, Raider fans. Welcome in to another edition of They Follow from Burners. Check it. You see, got the jersey on. Audio portion of this, you're not going to be able to see it, of course. I got on the Davante Adams. I got breaking news. They just traded him to the Jets for a third round pick. Perhaps it can be a second round pick with performance incentives, but yeah, Adams is gone. He's no longer a Raider. We sort of saw it coming. At the end, they tried to make it like it was cool. I had a feeling after the game last night something was gonna happen, and it did. So Davante to the Jets for a third rounder. The Raiders originally sent a first and a second round pick, I believe, in 22, and 56 million in cash to the Packers to get him. So it might have been a third round pick though, too. So they got one of the picks back. That's all. And so for 37 games that he was here, they spent 56 million in a first round pick on him. But he's gone. And that really a lot to say about that, man. He's gone. We might talk about it at a later time, but Davante traded to the Jets, third round pick. Raiders move on. Steeler game, let's talk about it, man. I got to recap the Steeler game. So I was there. So it took me an extra some hours because I had to like really process it and see what went down, not be too emotional. Plus, when you are there, the stuff moves a little bit faster. So I had to come home and watch it and all that, watch it again. And my takeaways from it, man, you probably, you know, it's felt about how I feel about AP. So let me just start off. Let me just jump right in, man. First of all, we playing against the Steelers. They had Justin Fields as a starting quarterback. You go back to when I first started this channel last year. It was centered around the quarterback, us needing a quarterback before the season was over, even. And my plan was acquire Justin Fields. Like the Bears want him. They're gonna get Caleb. It was clear at that time. I was saying get Justin Fields. A lot of Raider fans was like, nah, he's not. Even Ant didn't like the idea. Doesn't like Fields as a player at all. But I saw him up close and personal, and he is 100% better than Aiden O'Connell and Gardner Minshew, and that's a fact. Okay, there's anyone can say to me to say that Aiden O'Connell or Justin Fields is or Minshew anywhere near the player Justin Fields is. Um, we can't run football. Justin Fields ran for 60 yards and 2 touchdowns by himself, just a quarterback. So if we add our little struggling running backs to that, now the Raiders are running for 100 yards a game with a quarterback like this. But nah, he can't read defenses. He can't do that. He can't do this. People running from coaching. That's what that is, man. Um, and then with Luke Getsy, the dude that was his offensive coordinator, and act like it was Justin's fault why they couldn't score or whatever. And then we have Getsy, albeit without all of the weapons. We didn't have Davante, we didn't have Jacoby Myers, Michael Mayer, Zamir White. All these guys weren't available. But still, man, you saw the stale play calling. I ain't gonna say get all on Getsy like that, but I saw for myself that it's not Justin Fields. So Eberflus and Getsy, you guys know what happened. But that's the first thing. That's where the Raiders front office screwed up. They should have got him. They should have got Fields. Period. I don't care what any of you say. All right. The next thing I noticed, man, the refs. Come on, y'all. You cannot tell me. You cannot tell me that y'all wasn't on some bullshit. Excuse the language. There's a one play, man, in the first quarter after our first drive when we drove down there on the Steelers like nothing. Um, three crossing route Harrison Bryant, Steeler player, to get what player's name is, comes up, makes a good hit and tackle on Bryant, takes him down, stops him for a 2-yard gain when he needed 3 yards, and we punted. That's not important. I want you guys to go back and watch Powers on that play. From 4 yards on into his like 7 yard route that went on top of that Harrison Bryant route. Patrick Queen just held him, bro. He just grabbed onto him and held him like he knew wasn't going to be called. I don't know what's going on, man, but go back and watch the play I'm talking about. He just walked with Bowers, man, holding him the whole time like he was tackling him, and he didn't even have the football, and the refs didn't call it. No defensive holding, nothing, no illegal contact, nothing. Just Raider punt. So we end up losing 32-13. My position is that it's not all as bad as it seems, and I know you guys think, because of AP or whatever. But if you were watching the game, you would realize this is what happened. With 3 minutes left in the half, we were still winning the game by 1, and that's when they put the rookie in, which I don't fault them because they down a running back, right? They did and gave him a roster spot. He earned a roster spot. I ain't gonna say they gave him nothing. And you kid in and see if he can do something. So think of it this way: when the time they put him in, there's a lot of Steeler fans at the game. So at the time they put him in, if he gets in and makes a good run, that was gonna energize the Raiders and the half of the Raider crowd that was there. So now you get sort of like infuses energy into the squad. So I wasn't really mad at Luke or whoever's decision it was, Cadillac, whoever's decision it was to put Dylan Laube in the game right there. But young fella, you got to hold that thing high and tight, man. You got sharks like number 90 over there, Watt, the all-pro. You might past him, but you're not past him. And he punched the ball out. Kid fumbles, man. So we had a 1-point lead right there, all right? Kid fumbled. They get the ball in our territory, make a couple of plays, and then guess what, man? Davante Diablo makes an appearance. First interception since I can remember. Somebody could tell me when Diablo got a pick before. And, in my opinion, that'll be I don't know when the last time Diablo got a pick, if he has picks at all. I haven't seen him. But he got a clean, caught it with his hands, interception. Justin didn't see him, picked it off. Guess what? The first of a suspect roughing the passer call. Yeah, he fell on Justin's legs, man. And it wasn't malicious. Let's put it like this. I've seen it not called. I've seen that shit not called lots of times. It was not, he didn't land this whole weight on his whole body, man. He just kind of landed on his legs because he was pushing through at the end. Yeah, you suppose, I guess, roll off, but Justin Fields is a big dude, man. When you wrap him up, you got to make sure he's going down. He'll wiggle out of that sometimes. Pause. And, the lineman, he can't see behind him. He don't know if the guy's like pump faking or whatever. So that was a bad throw. A bad call. So turns over the Raiders, gives Raiders turnover and moves the ball closer. And then the Raiders still held right there, right? Yeah. No, gave up the touchdown right there. And guess how they did touchdown. Because once again, Fields made a play that no quarterback on our roster could ever dream of making. But, with our stale offense and our dismal record for the last 20 years or whatever, we felt as an organization we was too good for Justin Fields. What did he do? Fake to Najee, rolled out, hold it for a second, dipped on in the end zone on us like nothing. They went 2, didn't get it. So now they up 12-7. All right. If it wasn't for the refs with the suspect call, the Raiders are driving the other way with a 1-point lead, perhaps run a timeout in the half. So this is just little stuff that keeps happening, man. Defense was well, in my opinion, at this point. And Nate Hobbs has said something when I saw him getting interviewed by Q. I heard him get interviewed by Q Myers. Shout out to Q. He said a lot of the good stops and things that the defense gets covered up and gets washed away when they lose. And he's right. He's right. You get to thinking about what the defense didn't do. But a lot of the times, man, like Sunday in the Steeler game, the defense was balling, man. They stopped these guys a few times. Let's continue. So now the Raiders are down 12-7 going into the half. They get the ball back, though. We don't do anything, punt back. It's kind of a back and forth thing right now. Slow game action is slowed down. And then, bam, Aiden O'Connell hits Brock Bowers at the Steeler 42-yard line, right? On a 1st and 10 play. Now we're in their territory, trailing by 5, marching the football. Nope. They call Andre James for a holding, man. And all I'm going to say, if you watched any Chiefs games, you know that they don't call that holding call that they called on Andre James. They let go before too. And I know we got the benefit of a holding call a couple weeks ago against Cleveland, but that doesn't make any difference that this holding call could have not been called, bro. So now they come back 1st and 20, and then here's why I kind of do get Getsy, because they go 2 run plays and a check down out of that and punt. They got like 5 yards total. But they did have a 1st down in Steeler territory. Before that, it got taken away by the refs. Then guess what happens when we don't get that? We get the 1st and 20 because of the holding, and then we only get 5 yards, and then that's when they block the punt, right? That's the next bad thing that happens. Chris Smith misses a block right up the middle. They block the punt. Now, defense stood up again because they stopped them and only gave up 3. All right, so we had to, first of all, Patrick Queen holding. That should have been called. Second, Laube fumbles. Third, Diablo's interception gets reversed. Then we get the block punt after they called the bogus holding on Andre James. You see all these little shit, bro. Like, we ended up blew out, but these are little things that was happening, bro, while the game was still very much in the balance. Matter of fact, I feel like we had the advantage at this time. It almost seems as if the refs, I'm not even gonna say that. Anyway, now 15-7. Guess what? Minutes left in the third, man. We get a stop on 3rd down. We get off the field. Oh, second of a bogus. And I'm calling this one straight out bogus. Roughing the passer call. And I talked about on All Grind before how they control these games, man, with these roughing the passers and them non-pass interference calls. And that's exactly what I saw with my own eyes. The non-call on Queen and Bowers, and then these suspect-ass roughing the calls, man. So now, instead of getting off the field, they advance the ball up 15 yards, automatic 1st down. Guess what happened? Najee bust that run. Remember the long run? Now it's 22-7, man. Right? Yeah, the defense played better. Oh, let me put this too on PG. I feel like we got outflanked on that play. They had strong to the field side. They had weak formation, or even if it was balanced, but they weren't in the middle of the field. They were on the right hash going in, and they ran toss sweep to Najee. Once he made that jump cut, it seemed like it was a hell of a run, but it really was nothing else over there. It's the same thing with, I feel it was bad scheme when Najee shook Jack on the run. Bad scheme. You in there with the 5-2. Max jumps way outside like he tried to sack on a run play, and that just left Jack Jones right there. So I feel like that was bad scheme, and it was kind of Max Crosby's fault. He didn't set a hard edge pause on that one play where Jack got shook by Najee. And then on this play right here, I feel like they got outflanked, and they ran toss sweep. And you guys can look at it if you want, but that's what happened. So I'm putting blame everywhere. The players, Laube that fumbled. We gonna get to somebody else that fumbled. I ain't talked about it yet. Amir Abdullah fumbled. We can say he threw a pick. PG had some bad coaching, some bad defensive calls. Tom Telesco blew it by not getting Fields, and AP. We about to talk about him right now. So now it's 22-7. All right. The Raiders come with a beautiful drive. I call it the drive of backups, right? Beautiful drive in the third quarter. Backup quarterback Aiden O'Connell was in there. He hits DJ Turner. He hits Abdullah. Abdullah runs one. He hits Wilkerson. He hits Bachman. And then right as the time ticked off, he hit Alexander Madison for the touchdown. Last play of the third quarter. No, they called ineligible downfield, man. Bro, when I tell you they called it on JPJ, and Trey James was actually a step past JPJ, and they were barely upfield, bro. Barely. They kind of drove JPJ kind of this guy a little bit, man. It was definitely could have not been called. It definitely should have not been called. But again, it just seems like, man, the refs. All right, I ain't even gonna say that. Y'all, I'm being extra out. Anyway, now, so no touchdown. They call that back. Well, we get right back to it with a nice run from Abdullah. Looked like he might have been in, or could have been a little bit short. Either way it go, AP, you should have challenged that, my guy. That's the one thing I gotta say about you. You should have challenged that play instead of trying to get up and go tempo. I understand we're trying to get in. You wanted Abdullah to score because he had been balling. Abdullah had been balling up until now. But then we go tempo. Same thing happened with Lauby. This TJ Watt punches the ball out. They get the ball. We don't score the touchdown, man. It's 22-7. It's in the fourth quarter now. And to be honest with you, when you got all backups, the game is pretty much over for all intents and purposes. But Eaton throws another pick. I ain't gonna say another pick. He threw the first pick that he threw, which I'm gonna say that's the bad for him. Threw a pick. They took it down almost to the end zone and then scored a couple plays later. And then we added a garbage time touchdown. They added another garbage time field goal to end 32-13. So it sounds bad. We got blew out 32-13 at the house. But those little things right there, plus the refs not being on that bull jive, bro, and I'm telling you, we would have been right there with the Steelers. It would have been a close one at the end. I think we probably could have popped them. But that's where I'm at with it, man. I feel like the refs was a little extra out, and then we made mistakes. First of all, Telesco not getting Fields. AP didn't challenge that one play when it would have been 22-14 had he scored. Minshew the pick. Amir fumbled. Dylan Lauby fumbled. And roughing up from Butler. You got to roll off, big fella, but I don't really fault you on that. But you got to roll off. If you got to work on that in practice, go back to the basics. They're not gonna let you fall on these guys anymore, man. But it's just little stuff that happened in the game, bro. That's got to be cleaned up. All you, I knew I wasn't the guy, guys. Keep that energy, right? They're not gonna fire him. So no matter how much y'all complain, he's not gonna get fired. Getsy, you stay the course. I know you didn't have some of the weapons that you were used to having, but still, it hasn't been good for you either. So we got to continue to get better. Ayton didn't look bad. He made some good throws. I'm not really mad at Ayton's performance except for the pick. Didn't get to see Minshew play in person. So my first game, that's a trip too. My first game last year was when Ayton took over and played against the Giants. So I thought it was going to be the same type of result, but it wasn't. So anyway, man, we did lose. It's not all bad though. We've got little stuff we got to clean up, and we can be right there against teams. The Raider team is not the type of team that can let spot teams 2 and 3 scores and then come back and get them. We have to either be winning the game or right within striking distance at all times, because it's not one of those teams that's going to be scoring multiple back-to-back touchdowns, especially now Davante is gone. So it is what it is. We got to stay right there with teams, and we got to clean up the penalties. And it's funny to say that because under AP, it had been no penalties. That was the big things. But, bro, I know what I saw. The refs called us out of that game against the Steelers. Anyway, Davante is gone. Last time I'll get through this for a while. See you guys on later on this week. Anna back with me. He had some business to handle. See you guys back on Thursday or Friday for the preview of the Rams game. The Raiders will be in Los Angeles at SoFi at their other home stadium to play the Los Angeles Rams this coming Sunday. So I ain't going to hold you guys, man. Like I always say, just win, baby, and peace.